Well, here we are at Fibresports. This is where my XJC John Steed Replica, the Broadspeed replica, has been for the last 3 weeks, and I'm really chuffed. It's really going ever so well. The body kit, I just didn't realise just how involved it is to fit this kit. I'll talk you through it in a minute, but really there's no going back on this. This is now a John Steed replica, not an XJC, because it's really involved. The first part of the project was to make the front spoiler, because that's not the same as the racer. As I've explained in the previous videos, the front spoiler was from the very early race car. The race car after that had a deep spoiler, which is where the kit had the deep spoiler. So Steve at Fibresports has had to make that completely. So let me show you the front of the car. So here's the new front spoiler. I'm really chuffed with this. Steve's had to make this from scratch to match the arches and replace the deep spoiler that comes with the kit. So this is completely new. And the advantage of this is anybody wants to do a John Steed replica in the future can give Steve at Fibresports a ring, and he's got the moulds for this now. So it is slightly different from the original, in the sense that this bit here is slightly sort of shallower, and the spoiler part is deeper than the original. You won't notice the difference, but it just helps with ground clearance, but also makes it look meatier compared to the arches. It's a sort of a visual thing that we wanted to get right. Got to weigh it up, because you're trying to do a replica here, but at the same time, if something catches your eye, you know, we've improved it. There are other things I'm going to show you about that are definitely improved. The other thing that I've done is created a Steed front grille, which is basically 2 lower grills from an XJC put together. We put these spacers, and I've managed to get screw and spacers to match the original, but longer, because this is a much deeper grille than on the XJC, because the XJC's got a bumper in the middle, and it doesn't need to have a grille behind it, whereas the bumper won't be here. This has also brought up another problem I wasn't quite aware of, is these hinges here. It's more than a hinge, this is a bumper mount, so that's got to come off somehow. We've got to cut those off and work out, a bit overawed how to do it, work out how we're going to hinge the bonnet. If you look at the John Steed replica, there are little hinge ends, but nothing like this. So we've got to sort that out, but I'm sure Adrian at ADR Engineering, he knows about that sort of thing. So I'm not going to worry too much at this stage, but that's more of a project than I thought. Didn't really mention it before. But nothing's insurmountable. It's been done before. It was done on the Steed car, so hey-ho. But let me show you how this body kit's gone on, though, and what it entails. So the front arches have gone on great. I'm really, really pleased. They do stick out a long way. This is a very different car from the original. You know, I can see why Harry Metcalf didn't do this. This is major surgery. You wouldn't want to do it to a really concourse car. It would break your heart. But the sort of attention to detail I want to show you is, I mean, this is a mock-up at the moment, but Steve at Fibresports is making inner arches that just finishes off the whole feel of this car. It's something that they probably didn't even bother with the Steed car. You didn't see the wheel arches. They probably filled it with plastic padding and just forgot about it. But this is going to have a proper inner arches. Again, if anyone ever wants to do this in the future, that mould will be here, so that it's going to be straightforward for other people in the future to do that. But these have just gone on really well. If you can look at this swage line here, that was the marker that Steve used when he was doing this, because that swage line continues through the mould. So it's just perfect. So I'm really, really pleased about that. Let me show you the rear arches now. Again, the rear arches have gone in really well. That swage line, as you can see, it just picks up there just perfectly. They are massive arches though, and they run down to this air intake here, which again, this is Steve's attention to detail. He's moulded these that go in the end there just to give a proper lip on the air intake. Again, the Steed car didn't have that. If they'd zoomed in on that aspect of the car, it would have looked really, really amateur. But it's going to have a proper moulded end piece, really, which is just, again, it's raising it from being a really good-looking car to being a fantastic car because of the detail. It's detail that matters with this. So rear arches have gone in really well. Again, there's going to be inner arches here. I got to show you how they do this though, because if you're thinking about doing this to your beloved XJC, they have to basically cut lines in the wheel arch and then bend that wheel arch, all those bits back like a can, and those end up forming the hard points on the inner wheel arch. So this is a crazy project to try and say, oh, I'm going to put it back to being an XJC again. That's not going to be, it's not going to be easy. Obviously, I don't want to do that, but I'm just saying this is much bigger surgery than I thought. I thought it was just a few fiberglass bits, stick them on the car, sorted. No, this is major surgery. To do it properly, I mean, this is so strong, you can lift the car by these arches. These aren't going to just pop off. They're really strongly bonded to the car, so it's just going to be fantastic. And yes, with these sort of details, they make the difference. And then if you look back here, I've got the rear valance. Just offer it up and show you. This is a completely new rear valance that Steve's made, so that wing carries on underneath the bumper. Otherwise, it sort of ends abruptly. So this just makes it just really work underneath that bumper. So I'm really, really so pleased that he's put this sort of attention to detail in. And the rear bumper itself is going to be slightly cut short. I didn't really think it would have to be, but obviously this wing is coming down onto it, so it's just going to be cut short. I think the original car had a fiberglass bumper, correct me if I'm wrong, but this doesn't need to have a fiberglass bumper, it just needs to be cut short. I'm really pleased this is at Fibresports though, because one thing that I've really noticed, this is not for the faint-hearted, and to get a fiberglass expert like Steve from Fibresports, he's been doing this since 1969. He's worked on loads of specialist Fords. He was a big part of the Ford RS Mexico program. He's worked on Ford GT40s. Honestly, I'm in the right place. And if you're looking for any fiberglass work, you know, get to Steve. This is the mecca for this sort of thing. I'm in the right place. And if you're going to do a John Steed replica, this is where you can get the whole kit, including the new front spoiler that I've had done, and this valance that's going to be right. I just can't wait to drive down Whitehall and go down Pall Mall and park it in that kind. That's where this car belongs, in that kind of environment. It's going to look fantastic. So that's my dream. That's what I'm aiming at. I want to show you guys what this is going to look like in its natural environment. It's going to be fantastic. It's a much bigger job than I thought it would be, and having that front spoiler made and all the little details like the inner arches and that little end bit for the intake, it's just going to make this from being a good car to being a great car. And it's just going to, I'm just so chuffed. One of the things I'm worried about, you know, we've come this far, I'm worried about the wheels now, because I've said, oh, they've bought a set of nice Compomotive alloys, they'll look all right. But they're not deep dished. They're actually quite fat wheels, but they're not deep dished, which means I would need massive spaces on this, and they'd still not be right. So I'm really starting to think about, oh, should I go down? I've been talking to Image Wheels about getting a set of, because they were Kent-based alloys, and they do some Kent alloys, and they just need to be deep dished, and how much they're going to charge for making a set. Let me know your thoughts, but I think I've got to go the extra mile. It's all money, but I've just got to think, do I want to go all the way with this? Because it's just really, really exciting. What's astounding is if you look at the new Avengers, and I've just been watching the box set, this car, or the Steed car, was really probably only 5 or 6 minutes max. Somebody else said 10 minutes, but I think it's 5 or 6 minutes max in that show. And it's burnt on the brains of so many people like myself. I just find it astounding that that we haven't really seen it much. So I kind of want to just put a bit more. I want to build the car and get it out there and you know, let people see this car, and you know, and probably engineer it better so it drives better and doesn't tramline and all that sort of stuff. But we can work on that. But you know, I'm really excited by this. Let me know, you know, if you've got anything to add to it. I do like the collaboration with you guys because I'm getting some great comments, and any help you can give me, because I'm learning as I go along with this. I'm no expert, but I think if we've got that whole attitude that Steve here at Fibresports has of just making it right, I think it's just going to be a great car. Anyway, thanks for watching. Next time you see me back at ADR Engineering, and we'll assess whether we're going to paint soon or whether we're going to carry on with mechanics. Thanks for watching.